Hello, what up? It's John, your movie madman, and I'm back. So, I know you're pleased about that, otherwise you wouldn't have clicked on this video, would you? Exactly. Who's that? Dunno. Today, we're going to be talking about Donnie Darko, or Donnie Darko. So, I've got the Blu-ray and you know I got the new 4K box because I opened it for you. I don't know whenever. Well, I don't know when this video will be out. So I opened it for you earlier. I did it earlier. I don't know if you guys know much about the 4K transfer of the theatrical cut of Donnie Darko, but there has been problems with it. At first I thought there was something wrong with my player, but it turns out there's been a very wide problem with a lot of the copies that have gone out. So if you've got like a certain Blu-ray player, or if you've got a certain TV, or like it's got something to do with an Xbox as well, I think. I don't know, I haven't got an Xbox, so I kind of ignored that bit. But yeah, there's framing issues with it, so when you watch it, the film looks like it's like across the screen sort of thing, and you're just like, I feel like it's a bit weird. It felt like, you know when you're mucking around and you put a film on so it plays at half the speed. It felt a little bit like that, like someone had pressed pause and then was hammering on the thing to watch it frame by frame rather than normally it was like sort of thing. So if you have got it in 4K and you're watching the theatrical version and it looks a bit weird, it's because there's something wrong with it. I don't know what Arrow is doing about that. I think it's down to them. I don't think it's down to like eBay or Amazon. I think it's down to them to sort it out. So I don't know how they're going to find out who's got copies of it, because I mean, I haven't received an updated copy. Maybe they haven't sorted it out yet, I don't know. So I would say, if you haven't seen Donnie Darko, definitely watch the theatrical version first. Don't like just jump straight into the director's cut, because the director's cut, as well as there's a bit more character development to people like Drew Barrymore's character and Donnie Darko's dad, but there's a lot of inserts and explanations about the theory behind what is going on in the film. So if you haven't seen the theatrical version, watch that first and then watch the director's cut, because it kind of explains it a bit better. So if you're in for more of a mysterious kind of movie, then definitely watch the theatrical cut first. Alright, I'm talking to you. Watch the theatrical cut first, because it's not better. It is better. I think it's better. To be fair, I like the director's cut, but I think I didn't get why they had to insert all these explanations as it went along. I was quite happy with it being left up in the air. Some people don't like that though. Some people are like, oh, I didn't like it because like I didn't understand what was going on. And it's like, so why do you have to? It's a film at the end of the day. 4K wise, I watched the director's cut. I know I just said I prefer the theatrical cut, but my theatrical cut weren't working, so I watched the director's cut in 4K. If you compare it to the director's cut on Blu-ray, there's such a step up. I'll tell you that now. The step up from Blu-ray to 4K is a very big leap. I was very happy with how much better it did look in 4K than on the Blu-ray, because I mean, the only reason I really noticed it was because when I was first watching the theatrical cut and it was doing the weird bouncy thing, I grabbed my Blu-ray and put that in to the player instead just to watch that, and the first thing I noticed was how shite the picture was. And I was just like, bloody hell, do I own Blu-rays that look this bad? And then you watch it in 4K and you're just like, wow, that's what 4K looks like. The picture is a bit darker, but that doesn't matter because the colour is still there. The grain isn't too present, so it's not too much of a problem. But there is bright colour in there. The HDR is in there. I think, to be fair, I think the picture being a little bit darker actually helped when it came to the darkly lit scenes as well, because it had more of a smooth look. This is a good way to put it. Very smooth picture. The grain's all smoothed out. There is grain there, but it's not like, oh, there's too much grain. It's It's good grain. That's what I like to call it. GG. Good grain. That's right. There's a new one for you as well. GG. Good grain. And you have got your eye-popping candy is in there as well. So there's a lot of good pictures. I didn't notice a lot of reds. So, I mean, I nearly threw it away afterwards because there wasn't a lot of reds. One thing I did notice, actually, when you look at the box on the bottom here, it says contains moderate violence. Yet there's no mention of all the fucking swearing. Like, what the hell? There's lots of strong language in this movie. And usually, if there's a lot of strong language in a movie, they'll put that in the description as well, but they didn't put that on there for some reason. They thought it was more important to point out that it contains moderate violence in about 3 scenes, not to mention all the strong language all the way through the film. So I was a bit like, okay, don't mention it. I mean, I'm not offended by swearing, obviously. I don't give a fuck. But, you know, there are some people that are really offended by swearing. Like, but why? I don't really get that, to be fair. I mean, to be fair, most of the people that I know that are offended by swearing are adults. And as far as I'm concerned, swearing is adult language. So, you know, if you're an adult and you're offended by swearing, what can I say? Grow up. It's just a fucking word. So yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful box. There's a really nice book in here as well. And I've only just got into reading recently, but I did actually have a look through that and have a little look at all the different noggins going on in the film and stuff like that. So I was quite happy with that. That was a nice little surprise, I think, to be able to read through bits. That was quite exciting. I haven't put the poster up because I haven't really got any space, to be fair. I've got a Shaun of the Dead poster though, so it's alright. And there's It behind me there. I don't know if you can see me. It. I might go into that film as well. I mean, I'm reading the book of It at the moment, so maybe when I finish reading the book, I'll do like a little comparison of book versus movie, which is like a little something that I'll probably start doing a bit more. I need to start thinking of doing different videos, you see, because a lot of these are just like, oh, I opened this Blu-ray, oh, now I'm going to tell you that it's got colour in it. Like, wow. So I think I'm going to start exploring other subjects as well. So I've got loads of versus ideas on the way, like 1080p versus 4K, and widescreen versus scope. There's black and white versus colour, book versus movie. So there's a few subjects coming up. Donnie Darko wise though, I am kind of like mixing it up a little bit, talking about new stuff and then going back to what I was talking about at the beginning of the video. I do that quite a lot. But yeah, so I think Donnie Darko was good. Some of the CGI was a bit shocking. That thing where there's like the weird invisible worm that comes out of his belly and he like follows it around. I think no matter what version of the film you watch, that's always going to look like a shocking CGI shot. So there were a couple of shocking CGI shots outside as well. One of them was to do with clouds. I remember part of the film had like clouds like all over the place, and I was just like, they don't even look real. So I could have made a bit of an effort with those clouds, but he didn't. So I'm not going to apologise because I didn't make it. So if you don't like it, you can write to Richard Kelly and have a go at him and be like, sort out your dodgy CGI, you nutbag. Or something along those lines, maybe. So anyway, I'm going to go now. I hope you liked this video. If you could click on that thumb, I'd really appreciate it, and subscribe to the channel. And I'm going to be back soon to talk about more movies. And I'm going to talk about some of those versus topics as well. So do come back, because there's some good stuff on the way, alright? Ta-ra.